Blender key.
Alright, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can create this basic hair simulation, dynamic hair simulation in Blender 2.8, and that's going to be rendered in Eevee. And as you can see right now, it's rendering okay in real time. It's kind of blurry, but you get the point. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. First thing I'm going to do is turn on screencast keys so you can see what I am doing. Make sure it's big enough for you to see. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and edit this cube. Make it, put a hole in it. Make it the right size and put a hole in it. So I'm going to press S for scale and then 2, enter. Now I need to make it smaller on the y-axis. S for scale, Y for the y-axis, and then 0.25. And now I'm going to press Control A to apply the scale. Alright, now I need to put a hole in it. And to put a hole in it, I'm going to use the Boolean operation in the modifiers tab. I'm going to use a cylinder as a reference. So I'm going to add a mesh and then a cylinder. Now this cylinder is the same cylinder we're going to use for the hair also, so we're actually going to use it twice. So I'm going to go down here to this menu and then raise the number of vertices up to 128 because it makes the hair look better if we have a lot more geometry. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and rotate that on the x-axis. R for rotate, X for the x-axis, and then 90. Now I'm going to make this a little bit smaller in diameter, but I don't want it to get smaller in the length, so I'm going to press S for scale and then Shift Y and then 0.75, enter. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and scale this up on the x-axis. S for scale, Y, and then 10, enter. And then right here it shows that my scale is not all ones, so I'm going to go ahead and apply the scale. This is important when it comes to physics objects. Control A and then scale. Now I'm going to select my cube, go over here to the modifiers tab, add modifier, add a Boolean modifier, and then right here add the cylinder and make sure this is set to difference and then click apply. Now right click on the cylinder, press G for grab and then Y for the y-axis and then just move it to about there. Now I need to make this cylinder a little bit narrower because we want it to go through this hole with hair on it, but we want to have enough room for the hair also. So to make that a little bit narrower, we're just going to press S for scale and then Shift Y because we want it to scale on the X and Z axis but not the Y axis, and then 0.75, enter. Now we need to apply the scale one more time because these are not all at one. Okay, Control A and then apply the scale. Alright, now I'm going to press tab to go into edit mode, and we're going to add some more geometry on this. We're going to add some loop cuts going this way, going around it. So come over here to this side panel. If for some reason this side panel isn't showing, you can press T, the letter T, to toggle that side panel in and out. Now we want to find the loop cut. This one's the loop cut. Click that. Click on loop cut. Then come over here to the cylinder, and then if we left click, and then come down here and make the number of cuts 200. and then press enter. And all this extra geometry will make the hair look better. Now I'm going to downsize that, and then I'm going to press A once or twice quickly until everything is selected. Alright. Now I'm going to press 7 to go on the top side view, and I'm just going to drag this over so it's out of the way, and I'm going to grab or left click up here and drag this over. Well, right now I still have my loop cut selected, so to deselect that, I want to go ahead and click on this select box icon. That way the tool's disabled. Otherwise it will get in our way later. Alright, right here I'm going to change this to a UV editor, and over here I'm going to go to the materials tab, and I'm going to click new. I'm going to leave it to the default principled shader, but I'm going to add an image texture by clicking here. Click on image texture. Use whatever image texture you want, but I'm just going click open, but I'm just going to use this rainbow color texture that I have, but again, use any texture you want. I'm going to turn the roughness down to about 0.25 because I want the hair to be just a little bit shiny but not real shiny. And whenever we use an image texture on the hair emitter, whatever has the hair on it, the color of the hair matches the color of the texture. Alright, so now over here with the mouse over here, make sure you press A once or twice until everything is selected, and then press U, and then I'm going to project from view because projecting from view works the best with this texture. You may need to unwrap it in a different way depending on what your texture actually is, but with this color texture or with this type of texture, projecting from view works the best in my opinion. So over here I'm going to press A to select everything, and then press S for scale, and then just scale it up to about right there. Alright. Now back over here, press tab to exit edit mode. See, if we go into look dev mode, we can see our cylinder and we can see it's colorful now. Alright. Now I'm going to right click on this cube and I'm going to add some physics to it. Click on the physics panel or physics icon right here, and then I'm going to make it a collision object. But down here in the soft body settings, thickness outer, I'm going to raise that to 0.1. Enter. Alright, now what we just done there is basically just tell the physics system that hair will collide with this cube. Alright, now right click on the cylinder, and we need to go to the particle system. Click on the plus to create a new particle system. Click on hair, and our hair is a little long. I'm going to make the hair a little bit shorter. I'm going to change this to 2 meters, and we need to turn on hair dynamics. And right now, if I press play, see the hair just kind of falls, it collapses under its own weight. It's not stiff enough. Now, before I go any further, so we can see this better, I'm going to animate this cylinder. I'm going to press 3 to go into side view, and I'm going to hover over the location and press I. I want to make sure I'm at frame 1 and then press I while hovering over. Now I'm going to go to the end, press G for grab, and then Y for the Y-axis, and then just drag this over to about there, and then hover over and set another keyframe. And essentially all I did was just keyframe the location of the cylinder so that it moves from point A to point B. Now I'm going to take this out of Look Dev and put it in solid view. That way we can actually see the hairs better. But as you can tell, the hairs are way too flimsy and they just collapse under their own weight. So what we're going to do, we're going to make the hairs a little bit stiffer. And in the particle system, in the hair dynamics panel, down here in the structure sub panel, we see something called stiffness. If we turn that up to 2, that should be probably stiff enough. If we press play, yeah, they're stayed standing up, but they are bending whenever they hit this object. Alright. Now, what we need to do at this point is, here's our cache. We're going to go ahead and click on, well, first we need to go ahead and save this project. Go to File, Save, and then I created a folder and put this project in, and I'm just going to name this tutorial and click Save. Alright, now in the cache panel, click Disk Cache, and then down here you have a render panel. Take this, the number of steps, and turn it up to 4. This right here controls how many bends the hair will have in it whenever it's rendered. The higher the number, the longer it will take to render, but the smoother the curve of the hair will actually be. And then the viewport display, you have strand steps. This just controls how many bends you see in the hair in the viewport. That's it. It doesn't affect the render. Now the number of children, I'm going to put it on interpolated, and basically it just creates children hairs that are connected essentially to this. These are the parent hairs. These are the amount of hairs that are calculated in terms of physics. And then these are the number of children hairs that are created based on the position of the parent hairs. I hope that makes sense. And right now we're showing 10 times more hairs than the parent hairs, because these are a multiple of the parent hairs. And you have a separate one for the what we see in the viewport, which is 10, and then however many we see rendered. I'm going to put this on 50 for the rendered, so however many hairs we have here, which is 1,000, multiply that number by 50, and that's how many hairs you will see in the final render, which is 50,000. Now I'm going to go ahead and press play one more time. Make sure it's not glitching out on us or anything like that. Alright, looks good. Alright, now in the hair dynamics, there's something funny going on with Blender 2.8. I'm not for sure why it's doing this, but in Blender 2.79, if I turn this up, it will generally make the hair look better. But if I turn this up in 2.8, it will cause it to glitch out and go nuts. And in my opinion, it actually looks better if you have it set to 3 in 2.8. But if I was in 2.79, I'd probably turn this up to 20 or 30. It's something weird about 2.8, and I don't understand why it's doing that. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and minimize that panel, and I think we're ready to go. But one thing for sure, I want to create more parent hairs. So instead of having 1,000, because see it kind of looks clumpy. I'm going to turn this up to, let's say, 3,000. See, it looks a lot better now, right? And you could even turn it up higher. I think the video I made, the simulation I made a few weeks ago, or a week or so ago, I think I had it set on 5,000, maybe 6,000, somewhere around there. But we'll put it on 3,000 for this example. And at this point, we're ready to bake. So I'm just going to click File, Save, and then I'm going to click Bake. Now, depending on how fast your computer is, will determine how long it takes to bake. My computer's baking pretty quickly. It actually bakes quicker with that quality step turned down, and I don't think there's something different about the physics with 2.8, and you don't need to turn the quality step up as high in 2.8. I don't really understand why, but either way, it's not taking long at all. Alright, we're gonna press play and make sure it didn't glitch out on us and go nuts, because sometimes it will do that. But it actually looks pretty good. Alright, so let's at this point, since we have it baked, I'm gonna go ahead and press save one more time. That way it saves the file with, or saves the project with the project expecting bake files. Alright, now I'm going to press 3 to go into side view, and I'm going to take this lamp, press G for grab, and just bring it up to about there. And I'm going to turn, I don't know, I have to see if I need to make it brighter or not. And I'm going to look through the camera. Going to take the camera, put it on lock camera to view, and then guide through the camera. Alright. Let me make that just a little bit bigger. Alright, now over here in the world panel, I'm going to make the world completely black so that the only light is coming from this light right here. I'm going to go ahead and stick it in rendered mode and see what that looks like. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and apply a material to this cube. I'm going to give that go to the materials tab and make this a metallic color and make it 0.1, and then come over here to the whatever this one's called, I'm not for sure, and then turn on screen space reflections, and that's pretty much it. And at this point, I think I need to add a little bit more roughness to the cube. Let me turn that up to 0.25. Alright, and make the light just a little bit brighter. Change that up to, let's turn it up to 2000, make it twice as bright. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and render a frame and see what that looks like. Alright, that looks pretty good in my opinion. Alright, we're getting there. Now I'm just going to position the camera to somewhere where I kind of like it right there. Going to go to frame 1 and then go over here to the printer section. Give it an output location. And I'm just going to create a new folder, name this Hair Eevee Tutorial, enter, select that folder, click accept. I'm going to make the output JPEG, crank the quality all the way up, and at this point, I think we're ready to go. I'm going to come up here to render and then click render animation. And it's going to go through frame by frame and render out the animation. Now, there are several things you could do to this to make it look better, but I'm mostly just trying to teach you the physics portion of it. I'm going to go ahead and press pause while this finishes rendering. Alright, it just finished rendering. Took probably about 5 minutes. Alright. Now if we press render and go to view animation, we'll be able to see the finished product. Alrighty. It actually turned out pretty good. If you have any questions, leave a comment below and I will try my best to help you. And keep in mind, this is just a very basic hair simulation, but it gets you started. Anyway, that's all. Later, folks. Thank you for watching this video. Here are 4 other videos you might like. If you liked this video, please give it a like, share it, or leave a comment. I try to respond to every comment on every video regardless how old the video is. Also, please support your favorite YouTubers by disabling ad blocker. Thanks again. Later.